Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello everyone. So coming to the last aspect of the chapter of basic concepts is understanding the concept of social control. We have talked about society, we have talked about the social groups, we have talked about the characteristics of the society, the social groups, the classification of the society and the social groups. Now it is time for us to understand what is the social control, how is exactly the society functioning, what are the challenges that we are seeing in the process, in the way, and how do we see to overcome that. So talking about the meaning and the definition of the term social control, in a day-to-day life, the behavior of individuals or groups in orderly because they accept and observe various practices, rules, norms and regulations. However, such acceptance and observance does not take place automatically. There is usually a need to enforce social norms and thus to control the behavior of individuals and groups. So basically, we have groups and people and individuals who are orderly, who are in this form of accepting certain things, we live our day-to-day life with a lot of practices, with a lot of norms, regulations, and that is how we have been living our lives throughout. Now this is something which is a part of our society, and thus it says to control the behavior. Now this is something that has not really been done automatically. You do have some or the other kind of enforced social norms which is helping us in this process of maintaining the social order, or in this process of the social control. Now, there are various mechanisms and strategies which encourage conformity to the norms and discourage deviance. So, there are a lot of mechanisms, there are a lot of strategies which actually helps the people to stay connected, which actually helps the people to be, to actually stay in in accordance to the social norms and regulations and not deviate from those. Now such control of the behavior of individuals and groups is called the social control. So that kind of the control of the behavior of the individual and the group is known as social control, which is necessary for order and stability and the continued existence of the society. Now this is something which is very, very important for the stability of the society, for the existence of the society, and hence social control is universal because it is found in all societies from the simplest to the complex societies. Now the social control is universal because it is found in all kind of societies and it is there present everywhere. Social control is even found in the smallest group as well. Sociologists define social control either with the reference to the social order or with the reference to the regulation of behavior. So the sociologists have always been defining social control either with the reference of the social order which is there, or with the reference of the regulation of the behavior of the people in the society which is practiced. Thus, we have, according to McEver and Page, social control is the way in which the entire social order coheres and maintains itself. So, the entire social order in the way they maintain itself is under and is by the process of social control only and only. However, you have but E.A. Ross defined social control as it refers to the system of devices whereby society brings its members into conformity with the accepted standards of the behavior. So when you kind of bring in your members accepting it, or you kind of bring in your members to one particular consensus wherein all of them accept the standards of the behavior in the society, is what is social control as per E.A. Ross. Moving ahead, we talk about very, very important aspect of the mechanisms or the devices of social control. So from these definitions, it is clear that the society exerts influence on the individual to encourage conformity to the social norms and standards of behavior and discourage deviance. So it is that, all the individuals, all the people in the group should be there as a part of the group, should conform to whatever is actually being there in the group and not deviate from the group, or for that matter not really be there as getting separated from the group. However, conformity to the norms means the observance of the norms. That means you are observing the norms. That means you are following all the norms and the regulations. Now, deviance means going away. Like I said, moving away, moving out. Deviance means going away from the norms or the violation of the norms. Thus, influence exerted by the society takes various forms such as persuasion, public opinion, religion, morality, and extreme cases, coercion or force. This influence is exerted at various levels, at the levels of the whole society, over communities and groups, at the levels of community and at the levels of the group. So it is done at various levels. It is done at various stages, at various levels, wherein you're talking about groups, we're talking about communities, you're talking about you are also talking about the community here. Now, these are basically of two types. There are two basic mechanisms that are being followed. One is the informal mechanism, and obviously the second one is the formal mechanism. Now, talking about the first and the foremost one, which one is the informal social control or the informal mechanism of social control. So, informal social control is unofficial because it takes place through unofficial mechanism. It is unofficial because it takes place through the unofficial mechanism. Such mechanisms or means are unwritten norms and can be casual in nature. Now, these are unwritten norms and are very much casual in nature. Now, some of these mechanisms of this nature are praise, ridicule, gossip, and ostracism. So basically, when you are praising someone and when you are in a way ridiculing someone, when you are in a way punishing someone, gossiping about someone, or it is a part of your social gesture, it is a part of a social community, and hence informal social control tends to occur in smaller groups. When your friend is gossiping about yourself, your friend is gossiping about you, about some certain action that you did. Now, that might be an action which is not socially acceptable, and hence the gossip might control that action of yours, and hence becomes a part of the social control in there. Now, herein they're talking about four types of mechanisms or means for the social control. The first one is the social rewards, which includes smiles, nods of approval, and promotions. How as a child we have been, when we do something good, we were being nodded at, or we were being smiled to, or we were being given something, we were being rewarded for something. So all of these rewards are a part of the informal social control. They reward conformity and indirectly discourage the deviance. Yes. The second one is punishment, which includes frowns, criticisms when you're criticizing someone, and even physical threats that targets deviant acts with an intention to stop them. How you were being shown frowns, how you were being criticized for doing something, and how you were being threatened to be physically, even your physical threat was there when when there is something that is not a part or a deviance from a part of the society that you practice. The third aspect is the persuasion, which is another way of bringing deviance into a proper way of behaving. You are in a way again and again telling them what is to be done. So in a way you are again and again getting them to this form of behaving properly. Redefined norms is the fourth aspect, which is the fourth part of the informal social control. It involves in redefining norms in the context of changed set of circumstances and values. there are some change environment that you witness, and you redefine your norms under those changed set of values, and you redefine your values and redefine your norms under the changed circumstances and the changed values, which is in a way making to help the other person adjust to the current situation, and hence becomes a part of the informal social control. Now, talking about the formal social control, we do have that, due to the limitations and the weaknesses of this informal social control, many organizations specializing in the process of social control have been created in the modern societies. What are these? Let us understand. Formal social control includes all legislation and enactments enacted at various levels such as village, district, nation, state, international levels. Now, formal social control is official. It is official and usually involves law, police and courts. You have law, police and courts being involved in the part of the formal social control. So these are the written documents. These are something which is applicable to all of the people around, which are in the form of law, legislation, which are in the form of police orders, the court orders, etc. The agents of formal organizations such as police departments, courts, prisons enforce rules. So the rules are being enforced that have been written into the law. Again, the informal one was a unwritten part. Here it is a written into law. Formal social control is usually well defined and consists of written norms or rules. So it is well defined and structured and consists of written norms and rules. And hence, this is the difference between the formal social control and the informal social control. The formal social control that we tend to take in our society in terms of all the rules, regulations, legislature which is being present, courts, prisons, all of these scenarios, and the informal that we face and we kind of have in our everyday life in terms of the nods, the punishments, the rewards that we get from our parents, peers, teachers, and people around us in the society.